Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
We begin with breaking news as Governor Doug Burgum has announced guidelines to reopen North Dakota public schools this fall. In a press conference this afternoon, Burgum says K through 12 schools may be face-to-face, online, or a hybrid of the two, depending on decisions made by each local school board. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley spent the day talking with parents on what they would like to see happen this fall. And she joins us live now with what they had to say. Bailey.
Andrea, both Governor Burgum and Superintendent Baszler said this afternoon that they hope they never have to close North Dakota schools ever again, which is why they say it's very important that all the local school districts have a say in what happens this fall. Now, that's a decision many parents told me this afternoon that's what they were hoping for as they were on pins and needles waiting for Doug Burgum's 3:30 press conference today. I spoke with 3 area mothers, one from West Fargo, one from Trail County, as well as both a teacher and mother from Wahpeton today. They say that they hope their school districts go with a 50-50 option, or what's called a hybrid model, where both parents and students are able to choose whether they go to school one day or stay at home and learn remotely another day.
I'm going to set up some extra rules in my classroom. There's going to be more hand sanitizer. There's going to be a lot more wiping down. It's going to have to see what that looks like, I guess. And I don't know. It's a stressful thought.
There are a lot of asymptomatic people. What's to say my kid won't be one of those and he'll bring it home to me and my husband? And the whole thought of it just scares me.
Want nothing more than my kids to go back to school because it's been hard, but number one priority is safety, and I just need to guarantee that they're safe to go back.
Now, all of these parents say that they feel this is the best option because you don't really know what next month is going to have, let alone this fall or winter. Again, they are hoping for that hybrid model to be adopted by most of the school districts here in North Dakota, as they feel that is the most safe for the unpredictable. Of course, that will be up to the school districts. Everything now is in their hands, in the school board's hands, and that'll be something that comes later this week or later this month. Reporting live in Fargo, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
All right, Bailey, thank you for that live report. State health officials are confirming 55 more cases of COVID-19 in North Dakota, bringing the total number of active cases to 720. Another death is linked to the illness, a woman in her 80s from Cass County with underlying health conditions. 88 deaths have been linked to COVID-19 in the state. Over 3,600 people are listed as recovered. In Minnesota, the Department of Health is reporting 403 new cases of COVID-19, bringing the active case count up to 3,911. 6 new deaths are also reported, taking the death toll to 1,510. 107 Minnesotans are in the ICU. Over 37,000 people have recovered from the virus. After waking up to it, it is nice to get a break from the rain. But don't worry, if you're missing the heat and humidity, it'll be back before you know it. Let's find out more and how it's looking this evening with Hutch in your First Alert forecast. Hey, Hutch.
Can't get over how fabulous it is outside. Yesterday that was hot and it was so sticky, and now we're very comfortable outdoors. Most of us are quiet, but we do have the radar showing a couple of thunder showers up into the Towner County area right now. Some lightning strikes as we take you in. A little bit of brief heavy rain expected from these as they move southeast at about 25 miles per hour. Rock Lake and toward Candu could see that activity. And as a matter of fact, this is what those clouds look like from our home of economy view in the Devil's Lake area. So some storms moving in your general direction. They'll bring brief heavy rain to isolated locations. In Fargo, we stay dry. We'll be in the 60s as we head to bed tonight. Notice the wind, notice the temperatures, just perfect to do anything outdoors. Same thing in Grand Forks. I think we'll see a few more clouds in your skyline. We'll have details in your hour-by-hour forecast on why we have issued a First Alert weather day on Friday. Once again, we'll have details in a few moments.
All right, thanks, Hutch. One man is facing multiple charges after allegedly breaking into a home and threatening to kill people. It happened this morning around 6:15 in the 4000 block of Pine Parkway South. The homeowners woke up when they heard glass breaking and then saw this man, 26-year-old Brock Toai, standing in their home. Police say Toai followed the homeowners around and threatened to kill them until one of them detained him until police arrived. He's now facing burglary and terrorizing charges. A 27-year-old man is in jail after slamming a police officer's head onto the ground and then trying to get his gun. It happened around 3:40 this morning near the Fargo Dome. Officers pulled over a driver, but they say the person took off running. Police eventually caught up with the man, and that's when they say the suspect and officer got into a fight. Officers say Jacob Sorleen from Grand Forks slammed the officer's head into the ground and tried to get the officer's gun. Authorities say after a while, the officer tased the suspect. Both the police officer and suspect are expected to be okay. Moorhead police want you to know about a high-risk sex offender being released from prison who will be living in the area. 29-year-old Omar Yassin will soon be released from a prison in Stillwater, Minnesota, but he will be moving to the 1900 block of First Avenue South after his release on July 15th. His new address is half a mile from Moorhead High School. Yassin has multiple felony convictions on his record, including assault with a dangerous weapon, terroristic threats, and drug sales. We now know the name of the 2-year-old who was killed after being run over by a car. Authorities say 2-year-old Graylin Roberts was run over and then dragged by a pickup in Watford City for about 15 feet before the driver realized what happened. Deputies also say when they were responding to the crash, one deputy ran a red light with his sirens and lights on and crashed into 34-year-old Amanda Mitchell of Fargo. Mitchell was flown to a hospital and is in critical condition. Some hospitals in states with surging coronavirus cases are running out of beds. Many doctors and nurses are concerned about what's next for their communities. Senior medical correspondent Dr. Tara Narula spoke to frontline medical workers in California, Texas, Alabama, and Florida.
We started out a few weeks ago with around 130 patients, and it's gone up to about 370, 380 patients in the last 2 weeks.
Were you prepared?
We had what I like to call the gift of time.
I remember really distinctly when the outbreak happened in New York City, we were all in our ERs down here in Texas. We started preparing, we started gathering PPE, and we were waiting for a front that we felt would come. And then wham, it hit with after Memorial Day.
We're very stressed. I've never seen surges like this. I've never seen this many, this many patients this critical. I've never seen the nurses work so much overtime.
You think maybe, okay, it'll start to trend downward, but then you get a new set of numbers the next day and they're either steady or they're increasing.
I think the real fear people have now is nobody wants to be in a situation where your resources are overwhelmed and you know there's things you could have done to help people and save their life or decrease their long-term complications.
I wear a mask 13, 14 hours a day. It's not that comfortable. It's much better than the alternative.
People that you know are thinking that masks don't matter and that coronavirus isn't real or it's not as big of a problem as it is. It kind of hurts, actually.
We know how to mitigate and decrease the harm, and that's by wearing masks.
It's very scary for all of us, but we have a passion. Nurses have a passion to care for people. And I think that's just kicking into overdrive.
One doctor says she prays that she can continue to do whatever she can to help as many people as possible. Minnesota, New Mexico, Ohio, and Wisconsin now meet metrics to qualify for the Tri-State Travel Advisory. If you're flying into an airport in New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut from one of these states, you could be asked to fill out a form, and if you refuse, you can face up to a $2,000 fine.
Super nervous about traveling and going to the hub area of the virus.
I don't really want to travel, but I'm just really hoping that everybody do everything right.
Travelers from all 22 hotspots landing at New York airports now will use the form to ensure they isolate for 14 days. Airlines will provide forms to passengers prior to or as they disembark flights. Enforcement teams will be stationed at New York airports, according to Governor Cuomo. The owners of the Tasty Freeze in Moorhead are assessing damage to their business after someone broke in and trashed it. An employee tells us it happened sometime between 10 last night and 1 this morning. A side window was busted and the front glass is cracked. The toilet is broken and items were thrown around inside. At this time, no one has been arrested in connection with the break-in. The owners released a statement on Facebook saying they are closed until further notice. The Polk County Sheriff's Office is warning you about an increasing number of scams in the area. The scammers are using scare tactics, claiming the person's ID and social security number are tied to money laundering or other serious crimes out of state. The victim is then instructed to either purchase a large number of gift cards to stay out of trouble, or they're told to send all of their cash to the scammer for safekeeping so the money doesn't get seized. Authorities say do not give out any personal information. Hang up and contact your local law enforcement. All our recent rain makes for prime mosquito breeding, and Cass County Vector Control wants to get a handle on that. Their crews are ground spraying at 8 this evening in Fargo, West Fargo, and Moorhead, weather permitting. Still ahead on Valley News Live at 5, a soldier's act of kindness finally brings two families together.
Some ridiculous summer heat spreading through the southern plains of Texas near Lubbock, where it's in the 100 and teens. A little cool and break from the heat here. In fact, a gorgeous rising sun this morning, captured on our time lapse. Your hour-by-hour forecast includes more heat and storms. Details next.